Hello everybody, we are doing some Excel basics today. I'm going to start with saving your Excel file. Works like any other Microsoft program. Go up to the file bar and do a save as. Make sure you know where you're saving it to, and then you're going to give it a good descriptive name. I'm going to put my last name, and then I would put my class section, and then just always make sure that you're saving it someplace where you know it's going. In this case, you're going to want to save it to the desktop. I'm going to save it there. All right, now you're ready to start editing, and we are going to add a couple of new sheets. It starts with one sheet. I'm going to add 3 more by using the little plus at the bottom. Very easy. If I got an extra one and I didn't need it, I could always right-click on it and just say delete that sheet. But I need to rename them. So I'm going to start with the first sheet. There's a couple of different ways you can do this pretty easily. I'm going to double-click and give it the name. This one is going to be totals. Or you could also right-click and then click on rename. I think this one should be quizzes. I'm also going to do tests and homework. Okay, sheets are all set to go. So now I want to remind you guys how to insert and delete rows and columns, because you may be putting in data and find out that you need to insert or delete rows or columns. So right now I feel like this is a little bit close to the top. I might want to put a header in there. So I'm going to right click on the heading of the row. I have to go right over there where the number 2 is and use insert. You can also do the same thing if you have the entire row selected by clicking not just on a cell in the row but the whole row header. You can use the insert button up here. So I'm going to insert a couple more there. Same thing works for columns, whereas insert adds one on top of the row that you're currently on. Columns will add one to the left. So I'm going to select the D column, and if I say insert, should do one to the left, or I can also right click and say insert. Just make sure that you're in the header area when you do this. Now this I don't actually need, so I'm going to go back and do delete. I can also either right click, or I can, if I have the whole thing highlighted, I'm in the header area, I can use this delete as well. Okay, so inserting and deleting rows, pretty easy. I can also hide rows. I'm going to do data 3 and data 4 here just to let you see it. So I've decided that I'm going to hide my D column. I'm going to right click again in the header area, make sure you're up where the letter is, and use the hide command. I'm also going to go and try this on a row, right click over here and use the hide command to hide that row. Now they're not gone. I can see that there's something missing between C and E and something missing between 5 and 7, and there's a small bar there. So to unhide them, I'm going to select, if it's a column, the 2 columns on either side of that kind of thicker bar, and then right click and unhide. Same thing over here. Don't forget, select the 2 rows on either side of the hidden area and unhide. You can hide more than one at a time if you are in the header area and you drag to select as many as you want. I can hide all of these if I wanted to. Right click, hide them, and again to unhide them you just need the 2 columns or rows on either side of the hidden area and unhide. Alright, now resizing rows, very easy, 2 different ways to do it. Let's say that my data is too big and I can't see all of it. I'm going to go up to the area between columns or between rows, and I can click and drag it myself manually, make it larger, or I can also, I'm going to bring it back, just double click and it will make it adjusted to the right size. You can do this more than one column at a time. If you have a whole series of columns or rows that you want to resize, I just simply select all of the columns I want, and I can double click between any one of the ones in the selected area and it will make them larger. Entering data into cells, pretty easy. You can use just your regular white plus. You can also double click and add some data if you have some data that you want to edit. You can double click to enter your data in there. Okay, and then merging and unmerging cells. I've decided that I would like to have a title on this area, so I'm going to select how wide I want the title to be. I'd like it to be across these 3 columns. So I want to merge these 3 into one cell here. I'm going to go up to my merge and center, and now I've made one cell out of those 3. I'm going to add some borders to that later on, but for now I'm going to put in just, here's the title that I would have. And there you go.